Hey guys, welcome back to the garage and to the very first build/DIY project of the year. I must say it feels pretty good to be back here in the garage after what's been probably close to a year since we were last in here working on one of the many DIY projects, which definitely seems pretty crazy. Now that I'm back from traveling Australia though, there are a few key parts of the setup that could definitely do with some upgrades. That's essentially what this brand new series is about. Over the next 4 or 5 episodes we'll be fixing, or rather improving my setup based on what I experienced while living out of it full time throughout 2025 to get it ready for all my adventures throughout 2026. First up is actually the 12-volt system, so let's jump around to the other side of the canopy. Alrighty, now I did touch on this in a previous episode, but essentially we run into two main issues with the 12-volt system while we were traveling: capacity and charge speed. Now capacity might sound surprising to you, and it genuinely took me by surprise too, because the battery in here is absolutely huge. 400 amp hours of lithium, which for most people is more than enough, but just for us working on the road, charging laptops, drones, camera gear, running the Starlink overnight to get episodes uploaded for YouTube, it wasn't actually that uncommon for us to go through more than 200 amp hours in a single day. Now that wasn't too much of an issue if we were traveling every day and charging that battery back up, which to be honest most of the time we were, but it did just mean that if the skies were cloudy and there wasn't much solar power coming in, then we couldn't stay parked up for more than a couple of days. As for charging, the D-Maxes have a tiny factory alternator. It's only 90 amps, which the vehicle then takes most of, so we rarely saw more than 25 amps coming in from that 40 amp DC-DC charger. As for solar, the 300 watts of permanent solar we had mounted to the rooftop tent performed extremely well all over Australia, but to be honest we could have done with even more. And actually, while I'm talking about those solar panels, a lot of you guys have messaged to ask how that double-sided tape is holding up that I used to stick those panels down to the roof of the tent. We've now done over 30,000 kilometers around this country through every condition you can imagine, and those panels are still stuck on pretty much as good as they were on day one, so I wouldn't hesitate to recommend that as a mounting option. So the way I see it, there's 3 main projects to upgrade this 12-volt system: a battery upgrade, a much needed alternator upgrade, and a solar upgrade as well. Now I figured the best place to start was actually going to be with the alternator upgrade first, to kind of unlock more charging for then potentially more capacity, but the one I've bought online isn't going to arrive for a couple of weeks now, so we're kicking things off with the battery upgrade. This is a good strength test for the trusty DIY draw build. So this here is my faithful old iTech World 400X Pro lithium battery that's been running my entire setup for close to 2 years now. It's one of the originals back before they even had Bluetooth, and I thought it might be fun to see how much power I've actually drawn from this battery in total while it's still connected to that shunt. So I will start a screen recording and I'll log into my battery app just here, jump into the D-Max battery, head over to the history tab, and we can see that we've drawn a total of close to 29,000 amp hours from this battery over its lifetime, which is pretty insane. And I actually capacity tested this battery after owning it for about 6 months, and the results were awesome. It returned 411 usable amp hours, obviously more than the advertised 400 amp capacity, which is just fantastic. I am actually really curious to rerun that capacity test now that it's been subjected to everything it has been over the past year or so: freezing temps, boiling hot temps, corrugations, off-roading, this, that, and everything. So if you're interested in those results, stick around to the end of the video. So you might be wondering what I upgrade to from a monster like this, or I might have put it in the thumbnail for this video, I'm not too sure at this point, but essentially I don't want to change anything in this build to fit the extra capacity, and coincidentally, there is an extra roughly 30 centimeters of room where that 400X Pro is already mounted. That total amount of space is actually the perfect amount of room for 2 of these new iTech 300X Pro lithium batteries, giving me a combined 600 amp hours of capacity without losing any real usable space in that canopy setup. I am also really interested to do a capacity test on these new 300X Pro batteries, so we'll get to that in just a second, but first let me give you a brief run through of these new batteries. These batteries are pretty impressive units, obviously 300 amp hour capacity, 200 amp hour continuous discharge rating for your inverters and whatnot, IP67 weatherproof rating, so it could essentially be dunked in a bucket of water and it would be fine, Bluetooth, all the usual bells and whistles, and they only weigh 26 kilos each. So I'm looking at around 50 kilos in total for 600 amp hours of capacity, and that works out to less than 10 kilos per 100 amp hours, which is pretty incredible to be honest. The benefits to running 2 batteries batteries instead of one large one are that obviously if one battery fails, you've still got a functional system just at half capacity until you rectify the issue. And you can actually run some larger appliances or inverters than each individual battery could run by itself, because that load's now going to essentially be shared across the two batteries. Now, I've been talking a lot about capacity, and I'm really interested to see if these new batteries perform as well as the old 400X Pro and the old 120X Pro as well, that when I tested those, both returned higher usable capacities than their advertised amount. So to test these new batteries, I've charged them both to the maximum. I'm now going to hook them up one at a time to my trusty Mad Scientist battery capacity tester. Now, this probably looks a bit more complicated than it actually is. Essentially, all this is going to be doing is drawing a constant amount of power from these batteries until they're completely flat, and it will keep a record of that power consumption on this little screen down here. This device does also have its own power supply just here to keep that screen running, so even when that battery is totally dead, that screen's going to remain on and let us know how much capacity there was in that battery. So I'll hook this up to battery number 1 now and get that test started. When that one finishes, I'll put it across to battery number 2. For me, this test is going to take about 24 hours per battery to complete, I think, but for you guys, through the power of editing, I'll see you in just a second. Oh, wow. Test number 2. Alrighty, that took a little bit longer than I was expecting, but test number 2 is now officially complete and far out. I had some pretty high expectations for these batteries, but this is honestly just ridiculous. So battery number 1 returned a result of 336 usable amp hours, and battery number 2, the test that just finished, returned a result of 333 amp hours. And that was with a 13 amp draw over around 25 to 26 hours. That's over 10% more than their advertised capacity, and it means that together, these batteries are going to give me about 670 amp hours of usable capacity, which is actually about 260 amp hours more than my old 400X Pro, and I'm only gaining about 14 kilos of weight overall, which is absolutely crazy. I was also keeping an eye on the voltage as these batteries were depleting throughout the test, and they both remained well above 12 volts until they're about 320 to 325 amp hours depleted. Then they dipped into the 11 volt range before eventually shutting off at around 10 volts. Those are honestly the most impressive results I have ever seen from any lithium battery. And it's probably also worth mentioning, if you guys have just jumped to this point in the video because you're thinking about buying one of these 300X Pros or pretty much anything from the iTech World range, then feel free to use the channel's discount code EXPLOREBOUND at checkout to save 5% off pretty much the whole iTech World range, even stuff that's already on sale. So my rough plan for these two new batteries is going to be to mount them pretty much exactly where that current 400X Pro is, but in a brand new mounting platform. So to achieve this, I'm going to be using the same thing I used for the previous build as well, which is just this simple connected aluminium tubing and the plastic joiners that comes along with it, just to make it nice and easy to make a simple frame. Once I've got a bit of a framework made up that wraps around both batteries, kind of just like a figure of 8 on the floor, I'll then bolt that into the floor of the canopy using some steel riv nuts, add some anti-vibration matting underneath each battery to keep it nice and protected, and then I'll just add some simple anchoring points around that frame to secure the batteries, and we should be good to go. So let's get to it. Now, one of the unfortunate things about changing my setup around is I am quite often left with some holes in the floor of the canopy, and that's the case for this project as well. There was 6 holes or 6 riv nuts holding that old battery tray down to the floor. I am going to be able to reuse 3 of those, I think I've kind of worked out. And for the other 3, I don't want holes in the canopy floor, so the solution I've come up with is I've taken some M6 bolts and I've just ground the heads off them, so they're just like a small piece of thread. I've then used the same grinder to cut a small channel in the top, just like that. And what I'll be doing is I'll put some thread locker on that thread, then use a flathead screwdriver in that small channel I ground at the top there, screw these into those holes to essentially blank them out. With my battery frame constructed, I'm just lining the inner sides with 3mm adhesive felt so the batteries aren't rubbing against that metal edge when they're installed. Next, it's time to add some holes to the frame to bolt it all down. I'm using a stepped drill bit on the top side here to widen these holes just enough so that my 10mm socket will fit inside to do up the bolts. When it comes to riv nuts, if you're wondering which ones to use, I've always found these steel M6 ones from King Chrome work really well, and I've never had one spin loose. With the anti-vibration matting added, it's time to get the new batteries in and strapped down. Alrighty, my batteries are now fully installed, but there's one more very important step I have to take now before I link those batteries together in parallel, and that's to charge them both up to 100%, because one of them's been on my AC charger for a couple of hours, the other one's obviously completely flat, and they need to be identical before we link those batteries together. So I'm going to plug them both onto my trusty AC charger, get them back up to 100% so they're identical, especially in regards to voltage. Then we can link them together and away we go. Now with over 330 amp hours each, this is going to take a while even with my 40 amp charger. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow once they're both full. Okay, we are now back. Those batteries are both fully charged and we're ready to finish off this install procedure. So I'm going to be linking these batteries together in what's called parallel, which essentially doubles our capacity while keeping the voltage exactly the same. So these two 300 amp hour batteries or 330 amp hour batteries are going to act as one large 660 amp hour battery, but still at 12 volts. So all our usual appliances will still run, no dramas. To do so, it's nice and simple. I've just bought these two battery linking cables pre-made. So they've already got their lugs on the ends just like that. These are 00 BNS cables, so nice and thick, good for plenty of power to pass between those batteries. So they should really just act as one huge battery. So all I have to do now is connect negative to negative with this cable, positive to positive, then connect in all our existing loads, and we should be good to go. And there we go, everything is now fully wired up, and if I plug my system back in through this control hub just here, we can see everything lights up, my lights and switches are now working once more, and I'm going to call that install a total success. So one thing worth mentioning is that if you are linking two batteries together like this, when it comes time to plug your system back into your new linked batteries, it's important you connect the positive to one battery and the negative to the other battery so everything stays nice and balanced. I honestly can't believe the D-Max now has over 600 amp hours of lithium in the back here. Just unreal. And what's cool is with these new batteries, they actually have Bluetooth built in. So I can just fire up the iTech World app on my phone and see how each battery is doing individually. I can see everything from the voltage to the current, the life cycle count, the temperature even, which is pretty awesome. And the whole system is still wired through my original smart shunt as well. So as before, I can get a total overview of how the system is performing. Well, that marks the end of this installation, although I will have to put my false wall back on to hide those batteries up once again. As always, I'll keep you guys updated as to how this new system is performing over the years, so stay tuned for that update. Thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions you have in that comment section down below, and I'll catch you in the next one. Just jumping back into the end of the episode because, as you can see, a few days have passed. I've had myself a haircut, and as promised, we have just finished doing a capacity test on the old 400X Pro that we took out of the canopy setup. That's been running for about 30 hours or so. The results are in. It still has the full 400 amp hour capacity on the dot, which is just fantastic given everything that poor battery has been subjected to. Anyway, that's all I wanted to jump back in and fill you guys in on. I hope you're all having a fantastic day.